When the night falls, when the shadows grow deep and black, the silent pall of evil falls upon Mount Grau, Kentucky. Who dares to search? Who dares to see what walks in the night? If you dare, welcome to Nightmare. And it's the Great Gratu Orloff show, and fuck, it's also the Four Color Fossil show. So we got 13 people watching. We had 20. Sorry, guys, I had to take my wife to a pedicure appointment, so that is the breaks. So let's see. We need to invite people on. So here, let's see. I'm cutting and pasting the address. I will put it in the link, and then one of you needs to send it to Eric Breen's Instagram so he can get on. And anyway, yeah, so it's the Four Color Fossils television program coming to you every, we're only 41 minutes late. So hold on, let me summon the Four Color Fossils. Yes, the link is right here in the chat. See, you can see it there. Just click on it, and it'll bring you into the actual television program. All right, we got people already appearing. God damn it! All right, hold on. All right, so from Portugal we have Paulo.
Yay!
From Chicago, we have Nyatapak Filegnarts. It looks like you need the light turned on or something.
Night. What the hell?
How's it going, Nyatpak?
Yeah, that's the Pig Latin version of his name.
Yes. That's Captain Strangelife. My goodness.
I beg your pardon?
How rude.
Who eat bean?
Cheers.
Hello.
Hello. Greetings, gentlemen.
Who eat bean? Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
Good Lord.
It's not me. Are you watching YouTube at the same time?
I don't know how many I can have
I
on.
think we're good.
Find out, I guess. Let's see.
How you doing, Paulo?
I just had a forest fire 3 miles from my house.
A forest
fire? Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Started?
No.
Oh.
Temperatures are in the 115.
Oh,
115. Shit.
Yep.
I thought it was hot here. It's 88. I'm used to where in the old country where I moved from. I think it was 106 today.
China's dealing with a heat wave too right now, I guess.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, they get that Yangtze River boiling too, which is always nice.
This would be a great time for them to turn off the electricity to teach us what horrible people we are and how oh well. I don't think they'd ever do that. Let's see.
We can't be that bad.
He's down there waiting to come on. Let's get him on.
Right. Eric. Hello.
Eric, how are you?
Good evening.
All right. So
You look almost as sleepy as me, but at least I can say it's 1:45 a.m.
Oh boy.
Again, I can say I'm 23 years older than you.
Well, so shit, the fire's out now?
Almost. We got about 60 active fires in the country.
Is that typical for summer, or is this unusual?
It's usually around 20 or 30 a day.
Okay.
Wow. That's
and it takes about 3 to 5 days to put one out.
Oh boy.
It's unbelievable. You got fires there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So what's been up, guys?
Not much. I was just bagging and board and stuff from last week.
I need a vacation.
Yeah, really. Are you going to do the show, Captain Strange Life, where you show your new Mad magazine soon?
There's a spider coming right down there.
Ah! Ah! Hey, does anybody recognize this? Look at that creature. Take a good look. You may recognize him from a movie, an 80s film.
Is it the Deadly Spawn?
Yes! Kratzu's got it! The fantastic, of course, John Dodds, the great makeup artist. He created the creatures for the film. And he did a lot of stuff. He was always in Cinemagic magazine. Remember that? Great magazine put out by, the awesome filmmaker, Night Beast, and so forth. Oh, geez. His name is escaping me now.
That's
But
okay.
that guy, Alien Factor,
Right. Yeah.
that guy. Take a look.
I got all the Mad magazines in here. I got below this box. I mean,
Are they in
Done.
neat shape?
I haven't gone through them yet. That's what,
Oh,
that was the other thing that was found in the loft, and there's some comics in there too. More comics.
But you're saving that for a special unboxing, huh?
No, I
Don
can
Doller.
show that too. I might have something in the back I can show. I got
Don Doller was the filmmaker.
Who?
Oh, okay.
The great Don Doller. Good God.
I'm not sure if I ever knew that. Trying to remember how all this works here. So anyone want to go first and show something cool?
I don't have anything cool.
Something
Well, I could kick it off with one, which is something I just recently got, and I think it's become a prize, a treasure here. I never thought I would get this particular issue, and I'm just pleased as punch that I got it, and allow me to take it out because it's I guess it's kind of rare, but here it is, none other than The Brink of Disaster. Yes, it's true. It's Brink Stevens there on the cover. Of course, former wife of Dave Stevens, and he used her quite awesome body as a model, of course, for a lot of his stuff. And it's actually pretty good. The art inside is pretty decent. Let's get it in there. There we go. It's definitely a comedy kind of thing. And one of the funniest things about it is that it's the special San Diego Comic Con issue. And so as you see there, it says they're entering the convention. It says buy Marvel Comics or else. And it's got they make all kinds of snide comments about Marvel. So it's pretty funny. And there you go. So that is The Brink of Disaster right there.
Yeah, I never heard of that comic. Kind of looks
think
like
the
the art
volume-
of Byron comic.
Mike? I think
Yes.
the volume is kind of high. Is that or is that me?
Oh, is that? It could be. I could. Let me lower my microphone. Kind of high up here. How's that now?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay.
Oh,
good.
okay. Yeah, now, I was wondering. I was trying to turn the volume down on my computer. I wasn't. I don't even remember how to do that. I thought it was. I thought we were all loud. I don't know. But
Groovy.
I can't actually even hear myself. I'm just hearing myself talking, but I'm not actually hearing myself come out of the computer. So I guess that's part of how StreamYard works. All right. So, Paulo, do you have some physical comics, or
I
is
have
there
physical comics.
Okay, cool.
I've got 3 Italian comics that I picked up many years ago in an airport in Milan.
Okay.
The Great Diabolik.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There we go.
Diabolik was created by the sisters Angela and Luciana Giussani in 1962, and the comics are still in print. They keep many of the old comics in print, alongside with new stories. And
So have I been mispronouncing it all my life by calling it Diabolic?
well, it's Italian, so you're supposed to pronounce it in Italian.
I always pronounce it diabolique.
Diabolik. But some pretty cool black and white art.
Diabolique.
Mhm. Let me see if I can find our
But
main
how
villain
was
in
it
action.
pronounced in the English dub of the movie?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Oh, you just seen it in the original language, or you haven't seen the movie at all?
I've never seen the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can find Diabolik comics in Italy. Sometimes they get published in other languages.
What was that comic, that Portuguese comic that looked kind of like Vampirella that you were that had a cover up and you knew what it was?
Now at 2 a.m, I forget stuff.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh yeah, Zaccarella.
Okay, is that obtainable? Can you actually go out and like find that in a store?
No, I'd have to hunt through. I'd have to go to old bookstores that have a comics section and see if I can find something.
Yeah, because I would love that comic. That looks great.
Here's another one.
Cool.
Diabolique.
What year is that? Are these books from?
This one is this was from 2001, redistributed in 2005,
Okay.
but I think it's an older story. As it even tells you you can buy old stuff from the publisher here.
Oh, okay.
They had, at the time, they had stuff that was about 5 or 6 years old in storage, and they could send it to you.
When did that comic start? In the mid 60s?
Yeah, 1962.
62. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see if we got some cool scenes around. What's it talking? This one has too much talking. This one doesn't have Diabolik on the cover.
Yeah, that kind of isn't good when they don't have the hero on the cover.
Yeah. They always have a beautiful woman on the cover, on the back cover.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not one of their better issues. Wow. Cool. So is he completely a villain, or does he sometimes do good things, or he's like in between hero and villain?
It's between hero and villain. He sometimes does good things, but that's not his main purpose.
All right.
Yeah.
Kind of like a politician.
Advertising the next issue on this page.
Yeah.
And this is, for all intents and purposes, self-published. The Giussani sisters still own the company.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Let me put you back on. I don't know how to do this shit.
I bought a Portuguese edition of a Spanish comic now. Howler Mouse loves this cover. Because this is an anthology full of short stories which appeared in CMOC magazine in Spain. And the cover basically portrays all of the stories inside, even though none of the characters interact and they're not part of the same universe. There's no universe. And even the art is even all in black and white. And the theme is radio.
You remember back in the 70s when those guys, it was a popular thing with those big radios, the boom boxes that just carry them on your shoulder, and they were blasting the music, and they had it right next to their ears, right on their shoulder by their head.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's what that reminds me of.
This artist Ruben Pellejero it was always very heavy on blacks, which is how a few years ago we got the job of reviving Corto Maltese after Hugo Pratt died. But these stories appeared in the Spanish magazine CIMOC, even though the writer Jorge Zentner was Argentinian. And I have an English language edition which reprints their a series that they created. So that's it. I'll probably show some stuff later before I go to bed. But
Okay. Let's see. Who would like to go next? Oh shit! What did I do?
Dr. Silver Age had a mouse loose in the house.
Yeah, that's. I saw that. I don't know what the story is on that. Well, let's see. Who's got?
I can go if you want me to.
Sure.
Rocky. I just stopped at the comic shop today and picked up a bunch of stuff out of the dollar bins. So it's nothing fantastic, but it was just cheap. Kind of like cheap comics sometimes.
Oh, I love those Lost in Space Innovation.
Innovation there.
That's
Especially those bondage covers.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just like the show from the '60s, except they get in the shower and undress a lot.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Great.
We had a bunch of Incredible Hulk reprints from Marvel Superheroes.
Well, they're always nice.
They were $1, so I figured they'd be fun to read again.
Or maybe it's dynamite.
Herb Trimp stuff. Had some of those.
Thing battles a thing.
Good story.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that one, so I'm gonna have to reread that again, Eric.
Yeah, and then the sequel's in issue 100.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got it too. Then thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's
the Doom
great.
Patrol. Yeah,
Challengers of the Unknown
yeah.
and the Doom Patrol.
Some more 2-in-1.
You got those all out of the dollar bin, eh?
Yeah,
Oh, that's pretty good.
some of them had been read. Like this one had been read a few times, but some of them were in pretty nice shape.
Yeah, for $1, man, I'd buy them all day long.
Ooh, cool.
It's after the big 200th anniversary, so I'm kind of winding down a little bit. I got that because it had a Alex Ross cover.
Oh yeah. It sure
I
is
was kind of
cool.
looking through it in here, and the Squadron Supreme ends up cutting off Namor, the Submariner's head.
Oh. Well,
Pretty graphic. I guess it's kind of like a what-if story.
oh, I see.
Yeah,
No,
that
it's
was
not
only-
Yeah.
It was not supposed to be a what if, but it's at that time that they decided that chronology no longer existed.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, in one
It wouldn't be
comic,
Campbell without a little jungle action.
Right.
Man, I wish somebody would reprint those stars.
I like that cover there. That's pretty cool. That was a good Kubrick cover there.
Yeah.
There's a new Tarzan series in France, and they're adapting the novels like those French Conan comics, which come out through Blaze Publishing in the US. So maybe they'll show those Tarzans will show up in the US as well.
Giant teeth.
Now I got this week. It's in rough shape, but
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I only gave like $14 for it. It's got
Oh,
a big
that's
piece
great.
out up there, but
Yeah,
I mean, you
it's-
know,
That is a great deal for that. Fantastic.
it's from 1944 and it's number 64, but it's got an art soft cover. I just always liked art soft the way he drew Sheena for Fiction House stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's his name. Art
Yep.
Soft.
Art soft, spelled SAAF.
Oh,
I don't know if I showed this last week. Did I show this last week, guys?
I don't remember seeing that. Sea Devils are always really nice. They're getting
Yeah.
expensive too.
Really?
Yeah. Or Russ Heath cover. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Used to be you could always get Sea Devils and Tomahawk and the Atom cheap. I think you were getting $2 Atom comics, weren't you, Captain Strangeliffe, at that convention?
For I had some of those. Yeah, for $2 and $1.
Yeah, there's always certain titles that were like, I guess people didn't care about, but they're cool.
Yeah. World War One meets World War II.
Yeah, the old biplane there. Maybe the Red Baron. Looks of it.
They had 3 wings, I think. It kind of looks like.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But
And I don't know if I showed that one or not.
That's good.
yeah, you did show that. But
Yeah, that's a great one.
I love the spider covers like that, the webbing and all. I love these
Yeah.
kind of covers.
I've got that, but I think mine's got a chunk out of it or something. It's not as good as that.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of a
That
spine
character
roll.
right
but
there in the web. He looks like Spider Fry from I think it was from the Harvey comics.
Okay. All right, guys.
That's the
That's
Constrictor.
probably it for this round.
For that
Kind of
round.
look like it, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm away from the computer. I'm coming back.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Okay.
I could pull a stack out of the cabinet in the back. I don't know what's in there, but and then bring that up and let somebody else go. But I'll go in the back and try to find something to show.
well, I guess I could show a few while you pull some out.
All right.
Let's see. How do I do this? Okay. I just found this earlier today. I thought Jambo would appreciate the good girl art there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You know.
Smiling Jack. Steve loves those. I think
Yeah.
he's trying to put together a run.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of out Veronica Laking. It's like that's her deal is that she completely covers her face. I guess this is the big revelation on the back cover. You actually see her face. But boy, this book smells good. I was trying to remember the name of the Smiling Jack character whose buttons are always popping off. I think it's his mechanic. I think it's this big kind of chubby guy. And his
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name
because
either.
you know, my first exposure to Smiling Jack was in the Mad EC parody, and they just made a huge Kurtzman made a huge joke out of the buttons popping off, and I think it was my mother. My mother explained to me because I guess she had read this comic strip when you know it was coming out in the papers or saw the comic, and she explained the whole button popping off was a big deal in that. Some of this is stuff I was showing earlier today. This is timely since I guess they're planning to nuke New York. This is their latest plan to get us to comply and then blame it on the Russians because now they got commercials running in New York saying, if the big one goes off, just make sure you go to your basement and take a shower. You'll be fine. We got this. Have you seen that PSA?
Yeah, I love a
Yeah.
nonchalant attitude. And now where she's like, so there's been a nuclear attack. I was like, what? What the hell?
it's very nostalgic. You know, we're going back to the 50s. So I
Right,
thought I'd
back
show
in
the civil
cover.
defense. Little Abner's learning about how to survive. I don't think he'd have to worry up in the hills about a nuclear attack, but just in case, this little guy whose body is a civil defense symbol. But this town is so retro, you know, there's 50s Chevys driving down the road. The movie theater was built, it's been there basically since 1914. There's still Master Charge stickers on windows instead of MasterCard. And the civil defense shelter at the city, the building a block from here, is actually still, most of them they've long ago dismantled them. And anyway, so nuclear war happens, I'm covered. Okay, so that's that. What else? Here's a beat to shit copy. I think everybody's got this, but this is a neat thing because it's promoting ABC's 1967 Saturday morning lineup. Well, the Spider-Man cartoon, and
That was a good lineup. Yeah.
we got hold on a second. Oh, okay. Well, we got Spinnerack Studios coming in, but we're limited to 6 people. So just hold on, Spinnerack, and we'll get you on here in a minute. Somebody's gonna probably drop dead or something, and I'll take them off. George of the Jungle, King Kong, Fantastic Four is a great. It was a great year, man. Yeah, that's
Wow.
ABC.
Wasn't it great to get up on Saturday mornings and having those great cartoons to look forward to watching every Saturday?
I was only 2 when this happened. This was a lot better than the Saturday morning in the 70s, but you know, the 70s is still a lot better than what we've got today, which is nothing.
Nothing.
But I mean, I guess MeTV. Some areas have MeTV. They show old cartoons. So that's that. I've got some 50s crime comics, which was everyone
nice.
forgets that it wasn't just the horror comics that upset everybody in Frederick Wortham. He was actually probably more upset by the crime comics. And usually they had crime in giant letters, and then they would say does not pay in smaller. Sometimes it would be, you know, microscopic, you know, but it would have crime and giant. And then there was a real funny Peanuts Charlie Brown comic strip where the kids are all looking at all the comics. What a great gory layout, and every one of them says crime. But anyway. These are supposed to be true stories. So, anyway, this is true crime stories and magic. I may get to see a demolition derby Friday night because they're having some kind of county fair like a block from here. Apparently, the reason these fireworks were going off last night was because there's a county fair starting. I just thought, well, it sounds like gunshots. I'll go to this beat up building right behind the house, and I'll pretend I'm in the Ukraine and do an advertisement for tonight's show. But I just thought, well, you know, it'll feel authentic. Yeah, Lev Gleason, Charles Bureau. You know, these were. And here's one of the older. Charles Atlas ads, and there are even older ones than this where she's not wearing a bikini. It's more of a one piece because Charles Atlas was alive forever. And there was another guy, Bonomo, I think was his name. I've got a big, thick, I think I have 2 copies of a thick book about the life of Charles Bonomo. And he was also one of these guys that advertised in comic books. Oh, look, he's knocking the guy's teeth out. See? And that laugh is great. Jimbo's laugh. Oh, boy, this is cool.
Great stuff on the back of those.
Yeah. That's why, you know, the ads are half the fun. And I'll show Crime Fighters #1, and I'm sure by now Captain Strange Life is fun. Oh, wow, that kind of looks like a butt. Look. Or, you know, if you know how to look, that guy's hand look, let's,
That's what Wortham said, right?
yeah, that's exactly what he said. Look, let's see if we can turn that into something. Look, those that know how to look, you know. And look at that tattoo she's got. That must be her boyfriend, Raul. This comic once belonged to a guy named Raul Moody. I bet he was a good student in school. The way he writes his name. Yeah, look at how she's just like, oh. And this Al Cap Shmoo in the late 70s, this was turned into a Saturday morning cartoon. And but the Shmoo was definitely and intentionally, because Al Cap was perverted, not as much as Hunter Biden or the president, but Al Cap would put all kinds, and the Shmoo especially was very phallic. But and it was all intentional, trust me. But this ad on the back is pretty horrifying. Like,
Wow, that's great.
Seen an interview where
a few years ago, and they said, "Well, you must wear a mask to enter, the local supermarket." It's too bad we didn't have these
Check
masks.
out that Mickey Mouse.
It's a little bit politically incorrect there. Sorry, Donald Duck. Look at that. How you can frighten people at the local Illuminati ball.
Wow.
That's the mask I'd wear if they told me to wear a mask, for my sanitation. All right, so let's see what Nyat Pack has. Wait, I think I just took them off. Okay, how do I freaking do this? Okay, I'm remembering. I used to know how to do this string yard. I'm learning. Did Graphic Man say that he's out 2 weeks or just this week?
I think just this week.
Well, he said, I don't know, this week for sure. Then he said there might be a couple of other.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I assume the crawl at the bottom's accurate. That he's coming back next week. Okay, what do you got, Captain Strangelove?
Well, there's a 100-pager of
Great.
House of Mystery, and
Nice.
I think this is the Carriage Man was Alfredo Alcala, the artist, or Alcala.
Yeah, that's how I was pronounced it. Paulo, what's the correct pronunciation for that?
Alcala.
Alcala. That's what I figured.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
From
great.
the Philippines, I think he was from the Philippines.
that's
Yep.
a great cover.
Yeah, but Spanish names in the Philippines.
I don't know where to put him.
A lot of Philippine artists that were so great back then.
What's this here? Oh, Gourmet. Fantastic Four 271.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
These are
He's
all
back.
books that I've got in my filing cabinet that I'm, trying to put there to file away. So I just pulled it out again. I don't know what the hell's in there. No. 270.
Terminus.
I wonder if there are people that collect comics where the logo is being smashed or destroyed. Trade dress or whatever.
Hey, back in the 1940s and when the comics first started, even in the 50s, they had those big letters over the comic books because they wanted kids to see it. In the
Right.
newsstand, they would set them down in the stand, and then they would stand out. That's about all you'd be able to see was the top.
Right.
60. What? I got all doubles here. What? Holy crap! I got 3 copies of this one.
Oh, you're specking there, Captain.
No, I probably got it from, I buy out a collection, and they're 50 cents, come down to 50 cents a quarter a piece, and I don't even know what's in there. So,
The Trial of Reed Richards.
Yes.
what? This all Fantastic? No, it's not. 247 with Doom.
Great cover.
yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of that one issue 45, I think it was, where he's hanging over the castle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, with Daredevil.
Big curvy cover. Yeah.
This is another giant 35 center square. Well, I don't know. It's not square bound. Justice League.
35 cents. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another pinup in there. They got posters. Pinup posters in these.
What year was those, Captain? Do you know? 72. Don't take them out of the package.
73, I think.
73.
Think this
Yeah,
one-
because it had that 35-cent price on
this
them.
is
It's kind
number
of weird.
50. Wait a minute. No, it's not. Yeah, probably. You're probably right. I don't know.
Cool. Those are nice.
Here's a nice cover. Here's oh, this is pretty big. It's one of those dollar comics, 80-page dollar comics, House of Mystery.
Oh, yeah. Great cover.
Let's see what this is. I might take it out. Got something in there that's a note or something. Oh, this is here. House of Secrets featuring Eclipso, but this has this guy in it who they call the Heap.
Uh-oh.
And he was in the sewer. Living in the sewer, kind of like the Swamp Thing or the Man Thing.
The Heat.
Yeah, and well, they call this guy the Heap. I don't know. The
Yeah.
Heap, original Heap was
Yeah, from a
going
Hillman.
back, what, to the 1940s, but this, I think they got the idea for this story from the original Heap. The House of Secrets. What issue is this? 72. That's a nice copy, man.
Oh, it is a nice copy.
Let's sit and take a look. I'm going to take this out of the bag. I think I might have some interesting ads in here and stuff. Silly Putty. Remember that Silly Putty? I used to go nuts over that.
Then you can copy your, comic panels and stuff with it.
Yeah, that's what you ruin your comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was called Nutty Putty. In the 40s, there were ads for Nutty Putty. There's a House of Mystery.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love the Nick Cardy cover.
Nice.
Graphic Man should redo that cover and put Dr. Fauci's head on him.
This kind of reminds me of that movie. Was it called From Beyond? Does anybody
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, that's better.
Remember when they had the pineal gland came out of the guy's head?
Oh, yeah, that was the Lovecraft adaptation.
Right, and they had all of those weird things floating around, and like this.
Right.
They exist in another dimension.
I exist in another dimension.
We wish.
1962. I gotta upgrade this book, I think, man.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
The spine is kind of messed up on it, but Cosmic Game.
That's a different kind of COVID.
Did I just show this? This is another one I got.
Yeah, that is nice.
Another one. Hot Stuff Sizzlers. Can't even see the number on this damn thing.
Yeah, if it's a purple, see, it's a purple cover. You can never read the black on the purple.
No, that's difficult.
I knew it was going to be purple. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that you were talking about that once.
Yeah, it's maybe when you're 10 you can read it.
Yeah, why don't they just make it them wait? It's 31, issue 31. And then Stumbo.
You
I
know,
don't see a lot of these on.
no, you don't. He was always one of the characters in the back of the comic, but his own comic
Yeah,
that must not have lasted long.
I didn't know there was one.
this is number 69. Well, you know what? I think this is Wait a minute. This is not. I don't think that's the title. Let me look into
Like Harvey Hits, maybe.
Yeah, Harvey Hits. Harvey Hits featuring Stumbo. This is 1963.
That's their version of Four Color Comics or Archie Giant Series magazine.
Yeah.
Like that Jughead's Eat Out was not a comic, that it was just an issue of Archie Giant.
Jughead Eat Out.
Man,
Yeah,
that's
baby.
great. You need to make a poster of that.
I got to get Graphic Man to make a poster of it. Or I'll take it to FedEx.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Hot Stuff number 81. Hot Stuff 102. What is this? 152. It's from 1980.
Yeah, that was past Harvey's prime, though.
Yeah, it was. They had a lot of great cartoon shows back then, though. So that's about it, I think. It probably has some interesting ads in here, though. Harvey comics always fascinated me with their ads. You know.
Oops. Sorry.
Casper Cartoon Show.
Yeah. Remember the records they used to advertise that they had a different 45 for each of their main characters?
Yeah, I have some of those.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good songs.
Anyway. Hey, so I was, I don't want to take too much time up, but I was at my other house, you know,
Uh-huh.
and I have to get a lot of stuff out of there. It's got to be moved out, you know, and I'm doing repairs and stuff like that. And then I found this up there. I totally forgot about this thing. I'll show this real quick. It's playset from Marks.
I have that.
You got that too?
Yeah, I sure do. That same box.
Wow. And it's been up there forever, man. It's got a lot. I don't know if this is complete or not, but
Wow.
it's got a lot of
the cavemen are really cool, and then there's a cave that's kind of like Land of the Lost, you know.
I used to buy these all the time, you know, go in the late 50s, early 60s, and then even into the 70s.
That one I probably got about 71 or 70 for Christmas, and it was out of the Sears catalog, and it was sent to Germany where we were stationed.
I think that was about early 70s right here. But I remember the first Marx dinosaurs that I ever got was in a blister package on a card.
Yeah.
Big card, and it was blister package. And I have never seen it again, ever on anywhere on the internet, eBay or wherever. I've been trying to, find something like that. But
What I'm trying to replace is a childhood. It was a German toy company, and it was King Arthur's Castle. It was amazing. And anyway,
King Arthur's Castle.
Yeah, it had a drawbridge and oh, cool.
Genuine.
Is that an old bottle or is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no UPC code. That's cool.
Wow.
Still
Is that
got the root beer in it.
It was probably vintage now, Captain.
It's fermented. Yeah.
So you put the new drink in the old bottle. That's cool.
Yeah, I do. I put the, but it's frosty root beer. I take the frosty root beer and put it in a frosty glass.
Right.
I wouldn't dare desecrate it.
Right. That's great.
Okay, enough of me. How about somebody else?
Okay. Let's see. Who's Eric and Horror Mike? Who wants to go?
I'll go.
All right.
Well, yeah, I think it was Rod's turn in the rotation to get Breen, and since he's not here, I'll just Breen his video. Let's show some random stuff here. Action Comics.
That's Superman. What a jerk. Destroying the earth.
Here's another one featuring Hive Assassin Lois Lane. Here's Supergirl falling for another
All right.
cheesy line.
Yeah, but she's probably going to turn him into stone and put him in a garden.
That was three. That was 3 issues earlier. Here's a Betty and Me. Yeah, Betty and Veronica. Brave and the Bold. This was popping up all over Twitter the other day.
Oh,
This
yeah.
What's that?
I have no idea. It
Might
just
be
happened to be the same day I found it in a box. I figured, well, I'll read it again. There's a
That was an annual?
yes, Mike Zeck. I forgot. Grunwald might have written it. It's funny. At the end of the issue, Captain America's so pissed off at Wolverine. He goes, "You better hope the X-Men never get rid of you because the Avengers will never have you."
Ooh, that sounds tough.
Here's Defenders 36 with a cover from, well, he needs not be mentioned. We all know who he is.
No, who is it?
The great one. Is issue 3 of Dr. Spectre's Spine Tingling Tales.
You mean that was
The other great one. Yeah, do we have a flatulence problem, Mike? it's a Flying A's Range Rider.
that was for the great one.
Oh, was that you, Hans? My apologies, Mike.
Tackle your home improvement project.
What the hell was it?
What
Was
is
that you?
going on?
You get all the ad libs.
It must be ghosts in the manor.
Oh, I love
Oh,
that.
look,
nice.
That's
that-
a great cover. I love
Those
that.
little rats.
yeah, that's it.
Who's the artist?
Out.
3 rats are running.
Oh God, I can't focus my eyes
Well,
on it.
you're as bad as me and Gratu.
Well,
Your arms ain't long enough, Eric.
well, I'm older than Grot too, so at least I have an excuse there. Well, I still can't tell it. I'm shining a flashlight on it.
Oh, I love those. But what you pick up a lot of those, man.
Well, I bought the stores section, and
Yeah.
I've still got close to 2 long boxes to go through. So when I read them, I put them in new backs and boards and put them into the collection.
You know that kind that I just went to that big monster kind was a mini kind. I couldn't
Mhm.
find. I went to all the dealers. And I couldn't find a single Love Romance comic.
All right, who's in New York?
Who's doing it? I think that's Gratu.
Laugh.
Wow, I look at that
Yeah.
bikini cover.
And let's see, Marvel Triple Action,
Yeah.
a Marvel 2-in-1. Here's a little Atlas romance for you.
You brained me, and you didn't even know it.
Yeah, that is great.
That's a great one there, man.
I couldn't find a single romance comic at that convention, not one.
Ugh. There's the last issue of Nova,
Yeah.
and we'll finish this round with Our Love Story.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beautiful. I always love seeing those books. I always love seeing
Really?
romance stuff. I hardly have any.
Well, I figure it's about the only thing you don't.
Okay, Horror Mike, is it your
Yes,
turn?
yes. And I've got a,
Yet.
I just recently did a video on IDW's reprints. And so I've got a question for you guys. Now, this cover originally, I believe, was from Dynamic Comics #8, around circa 1943, and the artist is Gus Rica. Now, you guys probably remember that cover. You've seen it. It's pretty iconic. I mean, it is definitely a horror cover,
Yeah.
but it was for Dynamic Comics originally in 1943. So my
yeah.
question is, could this be the first horror cover in comics?
I don't know.
Good question, huh? Possible. Hard to say, but I just love that cover. I've got like, I don't know, 15 or so of these IDW reprints. And this is definitely
Craig
my
Yo, right? It's Craig Yo's stuff.
Okay, this is Gus Rica,
Oh,
the,
okay.
the artist. Yeah.
No, I mean,
No, what I meant is,
Craig
is
Yo
that
produces
published
those.
by that guy
Oh,
Craig Yo?
Craig
with the
Yo?
long white
Yeah, yeah.
guy with
It
the
is-
long beard.
Yeah, it's Craig Yo. There's 3 guys that were doing it. Steve Baines and another person. And of course, Mike Howlett would occasionally come in and do a few issues. Mike Howlett, of course, did that great book on Eerie Publications, which is just highly recommended. He actually did 2 or 3 books on Eerie Publications, like The Worst of Eerie, which is fantastic.
There's one that came out this week, which is reproduces every cover from Eerie Publications.
Oh, cool.
I had that special ordered at a store back home, and since I wasn't there anymore to pick it up, I noticed it was put out with all their new comics I saw on Instagram, and then I thought, oh shit! So I looked at the publisher; they're completely sold out. So,
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to check that out. Well, here's a few more, like one-shot reprint issues. You may recall this one. They came from the 50s.
yeah, I've got that. That came out in the 80s or the early 90s.
This has got to be 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I-
And, of course, it is sadly, of course, black and white. It's fine.
yeah.
I don't have a problem with the black and white. But, after PS Art Books and IDW, you kind of get a little spoiled on there because they just do the best color reproduction
Yeah.
of those reprints. But a few other interesting things. I don't know if you guys are aware that a few companies have just done outright facsimile editions, like The Dead Who Walk. This is a facsimile. It's just the entire comic, including the original ads. There's
Yeah.
old
A few
He-Man
months
there.
ago, Jimbo was showing us on eBay this company that sells reproduction comics like that.
Yeah.
American Combat Judo, right there. Yeah, and it's actually pretty good. It's in color, the whole deal. It's not bad. It definitely is not nearly the quality of PS Art Books or IDW, but they're good. They're good facsimiles. And then, of course, one of my favorite indie publishers from the 80s, 90s, Eclipse.
Yeah.
Mr. Monster's Weird Tales of the Future, with, of course, that fantastic Basil Wolverton cover from Weird Tales of the Future, the original 50s, comic. And this is really the the color reproductions in this are
Oh, yeah.
great. I mean, they really do an awesome job.
You and I
So
were buying the same stuff in the 90s. I'd go into comic stores every week. I was disenchanted with the stuff Marvel and DC was putting out, but I was buying all that old reprint stuff.
this stuff is just fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mr.
I
Monster
really,
stuff, yeah.
yeah, Mr. Monster was great, you know, and there were just some weird, like, I mean, every time I see, you know, like a reprint, like
Yeah.
here's another one, Doc Weird's Thrill Book, of course, with I believe Frazetta cover there.
Looks like a giant hypodermic needle.
Go with a giant evidence,
That
and of course
company-
it's black and white.
Well,
I
that
mean,
company is Pure Imagination. They're really good, and they put out a magazine called, I think it was called Pure Imagination. That was real good.
Yeah, you know, it's
Pure Images.
Pure Images.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really good.
Yeah, this is quite good. They even have it's kind of weird because unfortunately the the thrill on the front cover
Oh,
goes through to the inside, and you've got this gorgeous Virgil Finlay illustration that's just right over her poor head right there. But Virgil Finlay is one of my favorite pulp artists.
sure.
Yeah,
That
those IDW books, they were always reprinted in. Those were reprint books, right, from IDW.
Yeah, all those horror reprints, yeah,
But they did it in
absolutely.
color, didn't they?
In color.
In color.
And really well done too. I mean, they also have. I have a few, you know, of course, hardbound editions. Like, for instance, I think I've got volume 2 of Voodoo.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
they did 3 volumes of all the Voodoo comics. They did stuff like that, and then they would do like special editions, like Howard Nostrand. They would just do a volume of him, you know, and other artists and so forth. Really well done. So IDW is way up there. Now this is really an interesting one because it's Jerry Iger's all horror issue.
Yeah.
And of course Jerry Iger, as far as I'm concerned, you know, people when you say Iger shop, you know, some people roll their eyes. I love some of that Iger shop stuff. You know, I think it's really cool. This is once again black and white, reprinting some classic horror stuff. But they do. I mean, they do it. It's clean. You know, the reproductions are at least clean and for the black and white, so it's quite enjoyable. But this was, you know, yeah, this was New England Comics. Another one, Extinct, which you guys may have heard about.
Mm-mm.
This is
Oh, I don't know.
a really unusual. Now, New England Comics. I started buying Tales Too Terrible to Tell. You know that's a reprint series of reprints. I think they did like 10 issues.
Yeah.
And they're all
Yeah,
pre-code reprints. But the guy that ran that Tales Too Terrible to Tell, George Suarez, he was a real authority on pre-code horror. That guy knew his shit. And if you read those Tales Too Terrible to Tell volumes, he talks, I mean, like he'll dedicate 5 or 6 pages just to talking about the history of the comics in that particular issue and the artists and everything. Stuff that I'd never even realized. So when I did my documentary, that was Tales Too Terrible to Tell was way up there as far as the research.
That looks like a reprint of Space Western.
Yeah, you know what this the funny thing about this Extinct is the idea behind this is that these comics were like so ridiculously bad that they had to reprint them into one, you know, issue.
Well, I
And
mean,
so
you had Nazis, you had cowboys, and you had aliens. I mean,
Yeah, well, you had
have
like
to be
this
that
guy,
bad.
Satanus, who would play his violin and drive people insane with the shrieking. I mean, just stuff like that. I mean, really, really way out there, you know. And of course, yeah, once again, with these two are definitely worth showing. Another Eclipse and another Mr. Monster. All of the Mr. Monsters, like, he had his own comic,
Right.
of course, but he also had these where he was just like the host. And I think it's Michael Gilbert. That guy was just a tremendous artist.
What happened to
Yeah.
him?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure if he's still alive or what, but some of the stuff in here is just gorgeous, just beautiful artwork by Gilbert. And this one is pretty funny. It's Mr. Monster Schlock.
Yeah.
And so they did like the Beware special horror issue, like communist threats and stuff, just some really great stories of all kinds of weird tales that are kind of politically tinged, but
Yeah.
there's Gilbert's art right there as he intros the issue, and he's just fantastic. I just really love his style. This was it says Eternity Comics. I don't know if you guys have heard about these.
Yeah.
There were 3 issues, as far as I know, and they were called 50s Terror, classic pre-code horror, and they were all Harvey. So my thought is that this was a Harvey publication, or it was backed by Harvey, because it's all Harvey stuff, except for this weird Chills. This weird Chills cover, which of course was I think Stanley Morris, if I'm not mistaken. But I would say like 90% of this stuff is Harvey,
Yeah.
and it's once again they're black and whites, but they do a decent job, of doing the reprint and so forth. So
The black and white brings out a lot of detail, though.
it's true. It actually it is true. And sometimes, I mean, some of these guys would get, I think in the case of PS Art Books and IDW, they would get the black and white, original art, and then they would have a colorist recolor it. I mean, that's how far they went, which is really, I mean, to produce what I think are amazing results. But so there were 3 issues there. This one, which is kind of an odd one, it's kind of large size, and it's called Web of Scares. You guys heard of this one before?
I've never seen that one.
No.
Special Collector's Edition #1, and I think there was only one, October of 2009, and more recent. And actually, you can tell. You look in there, the guy literally scanned the color comics and then just reproduced them in black and white, because you know how that works. You just end up getting a lot of kind of muddy looking reproductions,
Yeah, Greg.
but it's still pretty cool.
Greg Theakston came up with a process there for a while where he'd have to actually get an actual Golden Age comic and destroy it. And he would bleach the color out so he could have a black and white stat, so he could reproduce it for. That was called it Theakstonizing. But now people just reproduce it right from the original comic page, and it looks fine.
There's Recollections produced these.
Oh,
Silver Scream. Now there's another Harvey cover right there. But these are, once again, they're black and white. Black and white there.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. They're clean. Definitely cleaner than the previous one. And certainly worthwhile. Like, for instance, as you can see here, they produced like Black Cat. They did reproductions of that. War Heroes, the
Yeah.
Red Demon, which I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, that was a wing of Harvey doing that Recollections company.
Right.
Because I
Okay.
remember all those Black Cat comics. Those are all very nicely done. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that Silver Scream was good.
Yeah.
Let me just show you one more here.
Cool. Let me get you back.
This is AC. Oh yeah. Well, a few more will come, but this is a Wall of Flesh and other horrors. Of course, put out by AC. I think that's Bill Black, who did a ton of reprints.
Yeah.
And once again, this is this is of course from, you recognize that character there on the top, Dr. Death, of course, from This Magazine Is Haunted. And you've got, of course, the lead-in story, The Wall of Flesh. And once again, these are black and whites. And Bill Black was doing this FemForce thing,
Yeah.
as you can see here.
Yeah.
And some of these FemForce characters, I think it's possible that this one did a few of the comics where she was kind of like a host or introduced some pre-code horror stories. If I'm not mistaken.
It was Night Vale that was the host.
Night Vale, you got it.
Was Blue Bulletier that was.
There we go. The Flesh pinup number 1, rad, right in there for you.
Wow.
So that's it. That's it for now.
They'll never really pin that up on their wall.
Yeah.
Paulo, since it's like 3 a.m, why don't we get you? I don't know if it's your turn or not, but let me get you on just.
Hey,
And then
my wife says hi to the gang.
Okay, so would you guys read a comic about beer-making families who are in a family feud? Les Maîtres de l'Orge would have been translated as the Brewmasters if it was ever published in English.
Wow.
One of the creations of writer Jean Van Am, who is also responsible for the fantasy comic Torgal and the boardroom drama 13, boardroom drama Largo Winch, and the spy comic 13. So this one did not last as long. There were only 8 albums. In Portugal, we only had the first 2, but I just love the art on this comic because the sense of movement is absolutely fantastic. All the characters seem to be moving even when they're stopped.
Is it a violent feud?
Well, there were a couple of rape scenes.
Oh well. Oh, so it's not a kid's comic.
No, and people being complete assholes.
Oh. Well, no wonder they didn't like each other.
This is volume 2. It's set 30 years after volume 1. The remainder 6 books are set in the 20th century. One thing that the artist created, you can see the village where it all started.
Wow, nice. I like when they supply a map, of what they're talking about. So
Yeah. Oh, here's a favorite scene of mine. Everybody's just standing around in the dining table, and everybody's talking. And this is probably one of the most dynamic pages I've ever seen because, as I said, the sense of movement is just amazing. No, really. People sitting around talking in the dining table, and you can see everybody. This is very good, and it's a shame that the comic didn't last for longer. Now, what else do I have here? Oh yeah, let's show some French editions of an Argentinian comic by Juan Jimenez, who is better known as the artist on the Metabaron series. And this album, Mutant, is a there's no story. This is an anthology, but painted art, which is of course
Was that a woman's head in a car engine?
no. It's near a robot. It's with a robot. They seem to be in love.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see what we can show here. Painted art. This is the battle scene.
Yeah, look at that. It's pretty nice artwork.
Interesting armor.
Or the city. This is the first page of a different story. It's the type of thing that would be published in heavy metal, but Jimenez just brought it over. This is another of his comics. This is Ganren. It's written by Carlos Trillo. See what we have here. No, there are comics that Jimenez did only in black and white, but when he has the time to do fully painted artwork, that's when he shines. If you guys remember that Inhumans miniseries that was made by written by Carlos Pacheco with art by Ladron. Ladron is clearly inspired by this guy. More than Mobius, because Mobius doesn't produce painted artwork, but the way the colors came out, it was all this. And here's another one. There was this French publisher that put out basically this as a series, even though the stories are all unconnected. But I have 3 out of the 4. So this is the other one I have, L'Étoile Noire, Dark Star, and this one is written by his regular partner writer Ricardo Barreiro, who also created together they created the aviation comic Ace of Spades, As de Pique, and in the science fiction series La Città, which was although they're Argentinian, they first published that comic in Italian.
Let's see that cover again, Paulo. You did a gratu on us. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's cool.
Can you read French, Paula?
Yeah. There's a word or another that escapes me, but I get it. But then I get it from the context.
That's great.
How many languages do you speak?
Well, besides Portuguese and English, I get around well enough in French and Spanish not to die of hunger. I can read them just fine. Italian, I have to concentrate to read. But I can't have a conversation in Italian. And that's it. So it's almost 3:00, which probably means it's a good time to go to bed, and somebody else can come in.
All right, cool. Well, it's nice to see you.
Good stuff, Paulo.
Yeah,
it is.
I wasn't planning on buying these when I saw this. We had a festival where Jimenez was supposed to be a guest, but he had to cancel. He was already. That was 2 years before COVID, and he was almost 80 when he died of COVID. But his health was already not the best, and he was going to come here, and he was 77 or 78, and the guy who awarded all of his books ended up selling them about $3 under the price that he was hoping to get for them, but. But still, since these comics are all hardcover, it was not gonna sell them for cheap.
Right.
All right.
Well, you
Thanks for
can't
having
take
me, Grotto.
it for
Nice
free.
to see everybody
Thanks,
again.
Good night, Paulo.
All right, thanks
Right.
for joining us,
Everybody.
Paulo.
I have no idea who's next. And Spinner Rack, if you want to come in, we have an available spot, but I don't know who's next. Does anyone know?
Anybody, I guess.
Sure, anyone wants to go?
Rambo.
I'll go if you want me to.
All right, sure. Let me get you up.
I've got a few more things I picked up. So I got a Blackheart Hawk by Howard Chaykin.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was only
look
about-
at the honey dumplings on her.
and a nice water stained Tom and Jerry.
Hmm.
I hope it's water.
At least I hope it's water. And a Mutt and Jeff.
Wow.
And let's see, I got some other stuff laying around here.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Wow, I've never seen the magazine issue of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sold in military bases.
Yeah, the comic's pretty easy to find, but I've never seen the magazine until now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Okay.
Film 13.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
You have that one?
No, I do not.
Oh,
I've never even seen it. That one I got.
12, yeah.
Boom. Man, those things have gone way up in price.
Yeah, I got that one. They're expensive, man.
They are.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
it seems like they've gone up in just the last year or two, really
Yeah.
extremely high.
What do you think the print run was?
Could have been extremely high. I don't know. I
Think
mean,
so.
they were pushing it pretty hard.
I never seen it for sale in stores. I thought it was strictly mail order.
I
think it
saw
was
them in
back in the
comics.
day,
Lone
right?
Star Comics carried them in the late 70s
They
for a
did.
little bit, but yeah.
And I don't know, did I show these?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Had some of the, I had the Ghost Rider in it. Hellcat,
Look at the
Hydra.
Hellcat. You got a couple of shirt saboteurs there.
Yeah, in with that one.
Oh wow!
That's a great class.
I had Dick Ayers sign that one at a
Oh wow!
Nice.
Comic Con, and he was like, "Why you want me to sign this?" He said, "This is Jack Kirby." I was like, "Yeah, but you inked it," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I think I did." He didn't
Wow.
remember doing it. Yeah, so he inked that one. So pretty cool. I don't have a lot pulled, so that's about it, I guess, tonight.
Okay. Well, there's no one trying to get in. If you want to stick around, you can. Who wants to go next? Or I guess I could go. Let's see. You're all. I guess. Does it count as breening if it's a much shittier copy? I mean, this has got all
I
kinds
went
of
with
problems.
that.
But this-
Yeah.
the Jambo showed earlier. Let's see what else I got. Got some children's books here. Here's Casper and Wendy Adventures.
That's cool.
Wonder
Is that
Book.
a Wonder Book?
Let's see. Yeah, so anyway, it's cool to see them painted. The title is cool. Let's see. There's Sergeant Preston and Rex. From Rand McNally, famous elf book. Picture story of Davy Crockett
Oh wow.
That's cool on the back. To the parents.
Looks like he's last stand at the Alamo there.
Yep.
Did you ever go to the Alamo Grate when you were?
Oh yeah. I was born in San
Yeah.
Antonio. We went there
Right.
multiple times. Yeah.
I was surprised how many Kentuckians were in the Alamo when all that happened.
Yeah.
There was actually more people from Kentucky there than Tennessee. Yeah. The Stones.
Let's see. This reminds me of that cover that was reprinted that we were just looking at. This.
Oh, yeah. You don't see too many swastika covers anymore these days, do you?
No, in fact, so much so that when they made the Captain America movie, you notice he didn't have a swastika because he was part of Hydra.
Yeah.
So that's how they got
Right.
around with not showing it, because someone would start crying in the movie theater if they showed it. Even if it's on the bad guy, they just can't even show it now. So here's Blackhawk with he's sending his 4-cent ray. I'm trying to sell this to a garage sale for 4 cents. Maybe they succeeded. Didn't he run for the Supreme Court, Bork?
Yeah.
I don't think he got on the Supreme Court. Maybe
No.
because he's mean to Batman in the Flash.
Yeah.
I've got, I think, a couple of copies of this. I just was in the middle of filing, and I need to put this in my box.
That's cool.
It's not in great shape. I'm not showing you any. I mean, this is stuff I guess all of you've got. Here's Son of Tomahawk. This is, when I was a kid, this was an affordable way to buy Silver Age comics because people didn't buy Sea Devils or Tomahawk, but you could still, read.
Great stuff. Yeah.
Or Batlash was another DC comic that no one bought, but it's got great art. It almost looks like an EC story. That's with John Severin art. So, this is the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater at night. I remember it was a big deal. We went to see Zeppelin at the base movie theater in Germany, and it was just a big deal that I was getting to see a movie at nighttime. I don't know. It says Michael York. It's a couple of years before
Elkie Summers.
Logan's Run.
Yeah.
Elkie Summers.
Yeah, and here's the second issue of Ghost.
Oh wow.
Nice.
This great Aurora ad,
Oh, I love all those ads. Yes, I do.
and an issue of Tomahawk. Which is a weird Western kind of comic.
Go-go checks on it.
What's up?
They had go-go
Oh,
checks
yeah,
on it.
yeah, I had go-go checks, absolutely. And a beat-up copy of Gold Key, Fantastic Voyage.
Ah.
Let's see
Raquel
how they-
Welch.
I was going to see how they depict. There they are. Of course, I'm running the movie for anyone that hasn't seen it.
You spoiled the Indy.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see how they draw her boobs. Honestly,
Oh.
I'm not seeing any.
Was that Gold Key or Dale? I don't remember.
It's Gold Key. Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
It's not like Wally Wood did it. If he had done it, then
If he had done it, there'd be a couple of
They
trips.
should have got him.
Yes, indeed.
It was a waste, I tell you.
anyway. Let me someone else go because
Well, I got a interesting. I might have shown this on my channel at some point. This is number 5 of Rough and Ready from 1960.
All right.
But the interesting thing about I got 2 copies, and the interesting thing about it is that I think This must be a variant of some sort because the back covers are different. This one has an ad on it for a pack. I mean, for Fudgies. Almost said pack Fudgies. And this is.
This came up last week. That might be a Canadian variant because weren't we talking and saying that in Canada they didn't allow ads in the comics, so they just put art? And wasn't that what happened last week?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah, but it would say something in here, wouldn't it?
I don't know. It might have just been that it went through the press without.
Uh-huh.
Does it have any other ads in it? That one that has art.
Let me double check.
There are no ads in it. Ranger Sly was saying that they just frowned on kids seeing these ads that might influence them.
Right.
His-
No, there's no other ads in this one.
Yeah, it's probably was meant to be sent up over the border to Canada.
Over the border.
Because what other purpose would there be to have a variant of that? Oh, so let me get Spinnerack in.
Oh, he's here.
I'll put you back on. Sorry,
No, that's fine. That's fine.
no,
Hey,
it's just
Dave,
when
how's it going?
Good. How are you, Kevin?
All right.
Hey, Dave.
it's just when I bring a new person on, it causes me to lose the solo layout.
Hey.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's all right. I just got a couple other things here.
It wasn't
Remember,
like an Academy
anybody
Awards.
remember this from the 1960s?
No.
It was a very short-lived series, a TV series.
Was there like a Ventures song? Was there a theme song on that show that was like a cool?
Buddy Overstreet. I don't know. There must have been.
Because it seems like I've seen like a record run, Buddy Run, but I've never heard of or seen the TV show.
I think the same guy that produced this also was the producer of Get Smart.
Oh, okay.
So that producer was Leonard Stern or Stein or something.
And Mel Brooks was in there too, right?
Yeah, he had something to do with that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of. I remember seeing some of these episodes when I was a kid, but I didn't know about the comic book, and the TV series didn't appeal to me. That's probably why I didn't last very long. And then I love this comic. I love the cover of this comic.
Yeah.
It's a nice, beautiful, peaceful little scene, and the flowers got happy faces, and the tree has a happy face. Everything is so happy. Like,
I'm sure someone sees
America,
something
where
mushroom.
everything is happy. Bright and merry.
The mushrooms might be a little. Oh
yeah, they got smiley faces
Might be
too.
some-
The mushrooms. Yeah,
they might be a little phallic, a little. Well, maybe not.
yeah, it could be a little bit phallic, but if you eat them, it might be something even more. I don't know. Things are so great. I mean, where's my? It'll be Christmas all the time now. Uh-oh. What did I draft? Yeah, I already showed this stuff before. Crusader of Mars. You guys have seen these, right?
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll look at it again. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. Look at the honey dumplings on her. Those are a nice pair of hush puppies.
Did you have the post? Did he send you a copy of the poster for that he made?
I think he did. I gotta look. He's.
Oh, I want to get a copy of that too. That's so cool.
There's the other one. I think this is the first issue, I think.
Huh.
And then that was the second one. More sought after one,
Yeah.
That's about all I got here. Oh, this is weird. I had to frame this. My wife put this on my bedroom door, because we were having a little spat about, our differences with certain social issues, and she put this on my door. I thought it was pretty funny.
What's it say? Anything in the?
You can't see it. It says anything in the paper we can discuss without starting an argument. And his wife says, "I'll see what Garfield is up to." Anyway, thought it was pretty neat.
Lead Paint says that's a cover variant, Captain. There's 62 different Dells with 2 back covers. It's nothing to do with anything, just that they made dual back covers for many of the later Dells. Huh.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with Canada.
Well, that's according to Overstreet. Overstreet's been wrong before, like about the Whitman variants, but I would trust them. They know more than me.
Yeah. Well, that's about all I got right now here.
Cool. It was great stuff. Let's see. Where's Spinner Rack? There you are. You wanna go, Spinner Rack?
Sure.
All right. Sorry you couldn't get on earlier.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I don't have the deluxe plan.
Hey, I look forward to seeing you at the end of the month.
Yeah, we'll be leaving Denver a week from Friday, arriving in Chicago Saturday sometime. So
Cool.
forward to it. All right, I'm going to start off with a one and done book. This is
Knockout.
Knockout Adventures #1.
Oh yeah.
1954. And the interesting thing is that the cover is by some guy by the name of Bill Benulis, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's Benulis. He was born in 1928 in Brooklyn. And according to the internet, he did 146 comic stories. And then in order to feed his family, he got a job with the post office as a mailman and never did another comic book again. So,
Wow.
so the post office paid much better, evidently, than being a comic book cover artist.
Those colors are brilliant.
Yeah, aren't they? They're pretty. All right, this is Black Hawk number 165, the Dick Dillon cover. And the interesting thing about this cover is, Ratu, you mentioned on one show, you mentioned whether I collected birthday covers. And I really, I wasn't collecting them, but kind of started looking at some covers. I was born in October '61, and this happens to be one of them. So
Yeah. But then if you want to get technical, if you were born in October of '61, then you'd need to get comics that are cover dated December of '61.
yeah, right, exactly.
'Cause those are the
Yeah.
ones that were actually on the stand when you were
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that little owl guy there. He's kind of crazy. So anyway. All right, and Captain, here's a Halloween we all wish we could have had as a child.
Wow, look at that guy. Talk about rotting your teeth.
Yeah. So. And Gratu, speaking of a birthday comic, here's another one. This is Superboy '92 with a cover date of 10/61, a Kurt Swan cover.
And then the next rabbit hole to go down is to start collecting 45 RPM records of all the songs that were in the top 10 or top 20 when you were born. And that's the next way and it'll just keep going like that. But
That won't happen.
yeah, I was telling Captain Strangelove about your Christmas collection.
Yeah.
And could you do a plug for your Christmas? You got other YouTube channels, and I couldn't remember where to tell him to look for it.
Yeah, it's a much more successful channel than my Spinnerack channel. It's called Ho Ho Hippity Hop Boo. But Ho Ho Hippity Hop Boo. Anyway, so this is Wild Bill Hitchcock, number 12, 1952. I don't know the cover artist.
Wow, these are like brand new comics that just came off. They're
in Mylar. That's high definition.
Yeah, Mylar looks makes everything look better, but it is in a nice condition.
But the
Yeah.
brilliant colors and all the reds. Did you
Yeah.
pick out a bunch of red covers tonight, or is it just coincidence?
No, just grabbed some out of the box.
Avon does great stuff. Yeah.
But I think I told you guys, when I got a lot of my Western, when I was in my Western kick, which was, I don't know, 12 years ago or so, there was somebody on eBay that must have been selling a collection of Westerns because I got a bunch of the books and they were all in pretty good condition. So I don't show a lot of new stuff, but this is the new rendition of Amazing Spider-Man now. And this is that Gleason cover. He does these web design covers, and I thought this was pretty cool.
What, did they restart the numbering again?
Again, Captain, I don't, what volume is this? 12, 13? Who knows?
So how many different Amazing Spider-Man '1s are there? If you count all the variant covers, like hundreds now.
God, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Got to. It's good.
There's variants of variants.
Okay, here we have another Black Hawk. This is number 149 from 1960 Dick Dillon cover.
Oh, look at
And
that.
you
I
can
love
see that
that.
the guy is shooting rockets there. But if you look even closer, the bastard is shooting COVID cells also at those poor guys.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, you can see them there.
Must be a
Fauci.
commie under that mask.
Here's issue 147, Dick Dillon cover, 1960.
What, they got a soup bowl for a helmet?
Yeah.
It's got a soup bowl for a helmet.
Yeah, he doesn't look particularly threatening, does he?
No. Not at all.
And then here we have an issue of Longbow Indian Boy. This is, let me see if I can get the number 9.
And what company put that out? Is that Fiction House?
Yeah, it's Fiction House.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, Fiction House. Yeah.
Wow.
AMC.
I have a few of those issues too.
And then here's a later again, kid. And then finally for this round, I'll end with, let's see, this is a Black Rider number 16.
Nice.
Nice 10 center.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
they got the horses running right. Kind of hard to draw, the horses. I think when an artist can really draw the horses like that, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Severin was really great.
Yeah.
Horses, doing the westerns and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Really quite good.
I bought that new. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Peter Parker. Yeah, I bought
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It had the tarantula on the cover, as I recall, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have no idea who goes next.
I think I'm up.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to mention this for a couple weeks. You were playing this on your channel a couple weeks ago, and I went out and found one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. I didn't have the patience to wait to find the actual disc, so I had a friend of mine find it for me. And that's it.
Did I talk about the record or?
Yeah. In fact, I think that's one of the ones you talked about, and
I
that
was
the only one
probably in
my
a
buddy could
desperate
find.
rush to shut it off, afraid that I would get a copyright claim or something. I probably
doubt
said,
if
it's a great song, though, if you can.
Yeah, I doubt if there's any living members left. They'd have to be in their 80s, but and if I didn't do this at least once, I'm not doing my job. So
There we go.
I can go to sleep happy tonight now.
All right, now back to our sensitive romantic side, our love story. Followed up with a Plastic Man, of course. Just make in case Jamie's nodding off.
Oh
He
my
did mention going
goodness!
to
Look at
sleep
that
today.
berry arrangement.
Yeah.
Wow.
Frank Thorne. Awesome.
Hey. Hey. if Rodriguez says the square bound, all he had go-go checks to be perfect. Speaking of things that were cheap to find because nobody cared, here's a Rip Hunter Time Master.
Yeah, people didn't collect those, and those were fun to read.
No, they are. Sergeant Fury.
You can still get those relatively cheaply too.
A Shadow.
Yeah.
The Frank Robbins cover. Here's an absolutely beat to death. Oh wow, I didn't mean to do that. Silver.
Hi-yo, Silver.
I wonder if I go to put that flap back over, if it'll flake off.
Does Silver have thought balloons in that comic? Does he?
No, just he sounds like the birds that talked to Hawkman in the '60s. A lot of weeds. And
All right.
See, I like that comic. No one remembers it.
Which one?
The one you're looking at, Starfire. It's I thought it's a cool design. It's great, good girl art.
Nice pair of honey dumplings.
Superboy versus Gamblers. And
Go check.
here's that trollop marrying Superman's best friend. What the hell?
Well, he had all the money, right? Wasn't that Bruce Wayne?
You know, Superman ran off with Wonder Woman 4 times in a row, and Lois just wasn't having it anymore. So she goes, "Well, Bruce is rich." Tramp. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, he should have stuck with the mermaid. Or Lana Lang.
Swamp Thing.
That's a great cover. One of my favorite Swamp Thing.
Yeah, that is a good cover.
Yeah, now if they did this today, even though there's like 40 other Bat books published, Batman would be the one that big on the cover, and Swamp Thing would be tiny in his own book. Here's Tales of Suspense, again featuring the incomparable Gil Kane art. Somebody's got a bad gas problem. It can't be the Gil Kane art. 12 cents. You got a Kane story, a Colin story.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
Steve, if you're watching, there's a Teenage Hot Rodders.
There you
go. Teen Titans from the original series.
Yeah.
All right.
And Teen Titans from the Wolfman Perez series. And so, a Weird Wonder Tales.
All right.
And last but not least, let's end with the Hearts and Flowers.
Look at that hair.
Oh, it's a wig. She's pulling it off.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
In this story, this guy tries to make her over to be the girl that dumped him.
Oh, I see.
And he thought these things didn't have plots.
Wow. Any new, has your store bought any new collections or anything?
We picked up a run of World's Finest.
Going back to what time period?
176 and up.
What? Give me 176 would be in what year?
68, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Eric, what's the kind of the age group or the average person who brings in collections like that? I mean, who are they generally?
Usually, a lot of times I don't see them because I work in the back.
Uh-huh.
and I didn't even see who brought those in, but it's where we are. Since we're not really, it's amazing how much difference a bridge and a few miles makes, because we don't see nearly as much of the old stuff as we used to. Because unfortunately, that stuff is so old now. Even the books from the 60s are 50 plus years old. So the odds of finding a box in the basement with books that old, I mean, the chances are they were already found.
Yeah.
So and when it does happen, it could be the person themselves who would be, obviously older than us, or their children or grandchildren. So there's really no rhyme or reason to who brings them in.
Okay, well, I've got a couple.
All right.
Here, first, I got to show you guys this great shirt. Check that out. Escape to Florida opened.
Lockdown libs.
Yep, this is a Ron DeSantis special shirt that he put out for his campaign. And that was remember when all of like AOC and all these people were spotted in Florida during the lockdown?
Oh yeah, she wasn't wearing a mask.
Yep.
She's dancing and everything, and
he put this shirt out especially for them. That was really good. But check it out now. Gratu was talking about in his video today. You pulled up some Skull comics.
Oh yeah.
From Matt Gasp, and indeed I've got a few copies of really nice condition copies of Skull 4.
Okay.
It's fantastic, and the thing about Skull 4 that makes it really quite cool, and I can pull out this issue. This is my reader copy. I just love this issue because, of course, and as you see, it's the EC logo there.
Right. Yeah. They just put it on their comic. Just be careful with the nudity because this is Graphic Man's show, really, and
yeah, I will definitely steer clear of the nudity.
which is on every page.
Well, really, no, this is amazingly
Well, because it's Lovecraft, maybe it's not quite as.
Lovecraft, and they really did a good job. Check this. I think this is Deitch, but it is such a great illustration. It's insane. They had some great artists doing some of the adaptations in this, and so what makes this really cool is this is the first all Lovecraft or Lovecraft dedicated comic book ever made, ever published. 1972, Skull 4. Believe it or not, it took the underground artists to actually put out a dedicated Lovecraft issue, and this is it. So that's pretty spectacular as far as I'm concerned. And I think I was one of my favorite underground comics, no doubt about that. It's just they do a really great job of with the adaptation.
Yeah, it was just 20 years before EC was at its peak, and so these are the young generation of hippies, artists that loved EC and Lovecraft and comics, and they.
The funny thing about that, Ratu, is that these guys gave Lovecraft the love. They credited, obviously, they dedicated a whole issue to Lovecraft, and in EC Comics, I believe it's Vault of Horror. There's 2 issues of Vault of Horror in the early 50s, where they literally just ripped off 2 Lovecraft stories. They changed the name. They loosely based the stories upon the Lovecraft stories, and they never credited Lovecraft.
Well, they may not have known it was Lovecraft, because I think what Feldstein and Gaines did is they just sat around and shot and about stories that they remembered from reading when they were kids or hearing on the radio, and they didn't really remember. So they kind of like if someone's trying to remember an old Twilight Zone plot and they don't know, was that on Outer Limits or Twilight Zone? Doesn't matter, change it a little bit. But that's what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Well, if you read the stories though, which I have, they're close enough. They definitely lifted him. No doubt about it.
Well, you know what happened with Ray Bradbury, right? With EC.
Oh, did he sue him?
Well, no. Ray Bradbury saw that they had stolen several of his stories, but he loved what they were doing, so he sent them this real nice letter, but it was threatening but nice, and it said, "Oh, I noticed that I really loved your adaptation of my stories in your latest issue, blah blah blah. But it seems like the check has gotten lost in the mail, and it's like I want to continue working with you guys and have you continue to do my stories in the future. Is just wants to make sure the payment got to him." And then after that, they put his name on the cover when they adapted a story. You know, they put Ray Bradbury real big. But yeah,
So before that, did they credit him?
after that, they credited him, and because they were doing official adaptations of his stories after that. But he loved it. He loved how they adapted the stories.
Well, he just wanted money, which is totally understandable because, yeah, look, as far as I'm concerned, there was some sleaziness going on in EC. There always was. I think what they did to Sheldon Moldoff was absolutely.
Oh, I don't know about that. What happened?
Oh God! Well, here's what happened.
Hey, gents, if I could cut in just for a second, I got to interrupt. I'm sorry. My wife told me dinner would be ready 8:30 Denver time. So I know I've been on a short time, but I've got to sign off.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, food's more important.
But yeah, God knows I don't want to miss a meal, you know. So
Cool.
anyway, all right.
All right, Dave.
Bye bye.
See you, Spinner. Take care, Dave.
So the Moldoff story is this. Sheldon Moldoff, and this is in my documentary, Sheldon Moldoff originally approached William Gaines after he was basically, I mean, he wasn't given the cold shoulder by Fawcett, but they were just like, we're not interested in your horror comics. He had 3 horror comics lined up, including This Magazine is Haunted, that he wanted to sell to Fawcett. Well, they rejected him first. Then he went to William Gaines and he said, look, I got these. This was before EC horror comics. You know, we're talking 1948, 49 here. So Moldoff goes in and he actually signs a contract with Gaines for the 3 to develop the 3 comics. Never hears back from Gaines. 3 or 4 months later, Gaines is putting out Tales from the Crypt.
Oh wow!
He just completely. Not only did he rip off. I mean, basically, he just was like, "Hey, horror comics. I think I'll do that too." He just reneged completely on the contract he signed with Moldoff. You know, so Moldoff went back to Fawcett and they agreed, and of course, they started doing This Magazine is Haunted and a couple of other ones. But so sleaziness was a bit of a, you know, part and parcel with old William Gaines there, as far as I'm
sure with the whole industry.
yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Now, and I know Horror Mike, you know of this, but let me play this and tell me, and have you guys tell me what it reminds you of.
Tale, written and produced by Alonzo Dean Cole.
This is a radio show from the early 30s, but it's called The Witch's Tale. Which is, you know, 20 years before EC. Oh, come on. But anyway, the narrator of this horror show is, I think her name is Old Nancy, and she's an old witch. They have a long.
Them light souls we'll have it nice and dark.
Anyway, it's basically the EC Old Witch.
Right.
And,
I gotta check some of that out. What was that?
It's called The Witch's Tale.
Witch's Tales. You know, of course, Harvey picked that name up.
Yeah, well, it's like how many different comic books were called Gunsmoke? I don't. I guess somehow you didn't copyright that name. I don't know why, but the old radio show of Gunsmoke blows away, and the TV show is great, but the radio
Oh no.
realism, and it was it's so
Froze
realistic.
up there for a minute, Gratu.
Yeah, sorry, what?
You froze up for a second.
Close up for a second.
Oh, what was I saying? Something?
Like the old radio.
Other dimension or something.
I don't know what it was. I talking about Gunsmoke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gunsmoke, the radio show was great.
Yeah. And so
Fox.
yeah, that was the thing. That was I think one of the. This is one, and I showed you guys a few weeks ago that issue number 3 of Tower of Shadows, the Marvel comic that came out in 1970, and that was the first comic book that officially did an H.P. Lovecraft adaptation.
Yeah.
And not only did they credit Lovecraft, they actually they went to Arkham House, which ran, did the books, all the Lovecraft books and stuff, and they officially sanctioned it. They were like, "Yo, this is great. Do the adaptation." So that's in the comic book, and that's to the great credit of Stan Lee and Roy Thomas, who did that, who went the extra mile and gave Lovecraft the credit that he was due.
Well, they probably didn't want to get sued by the estate.
Well, it's a good way to go. A lot of those, you got to realize that a lot of the Lovecraft stories are in public domain. They lost copyright on those decades ago. That's why there's so many damn Lovecraft movies made. They don't have to pay the rights.
Yeah.
For a ton of those stories, they're completely in the public domain. So,
Shame though, really. Man.
my respect for Stan Lee and Roy Thomas went up a lot after I found that out. But I just wanted to point out that that issue of Skull Magazine, the first full Lovecraft comic book, right there.
Yeah.
Now here's one that you guys may recognize. It's Crypt of Horror, and once again we're getting back to AC Comics. Bill Black, right? And he did. I think he put out like I don't know, 30 or 40 issues of this.
That's a reverse image of an old Wings comics cover.
And also what it is, it's a lift. Bill Black did the cover. He lifted the cover, and he redid it himself.
Yeah, just reverse the positioning, like as in a mirror, looking in a mirror.
I don't remember that comic at all. When did that come out? In the 2000s?
This was 90s, 2000s. Yeah, here, hold on. I think it was late 90s and then into the 2000s.
Okay.
But they put out, the thing about this is that, granted, each one was 120 pages.
Wow.
So that's a lot of reprints. I don't think they did a really tremendous job on the black and white reprints. Not only that, but when they came out, these things were $25 each.
What? No wonder. That's why the local store I went to didn't carry them. That's why I never knew it existed.
Absolutely insane. So I would just look around until I found some for like $10, and I got a couple of copies.
Hey, Gratu?
Yeah.
Don't mean to interrupt, but can you put me on camera for a second? Because I don't know if this counts.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Wings.
That's it right there. Yeah.
There's
the
Man,
Does
look at
that
the
count as a-
Hindenburgs on her.
Yeah, audience, does that count as a breeding?
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Of course, these artists were doing this all the time. In the pre-code era, artists would literally, like a comic book would come out, whatever it was, DC or Harvey, and another guy from some other, like from Stanley Morris would like just literally rip off images from those and just redraw them. And I'm sure you guys have seen some of those. You know, because when you're looking at it, you're like, hey, this looks really familiar, and then you suddenly see the one.
Yeah,
You know, original.
Fiction House did that a lot to themselves. I mean, they would take an image and then it would be on the cover of Jumbo one month, and then like, you know, a couple of years later, you'd see it in Fight Comics, you know, on the cover of it or something. So
I've literally seen, like, even in Atlas, believe it or not, a few artists would like lift Bernard Bailey stuff. I mean, just almost verbatim. I was completely stunned. But here's a really cool facsimile issue of Skeleton Hand,
yeah,
the mighty ACG, and I just love that cover. I always love the old skeleton hootenanny there. And they did a good job once again. You know, it's black and white interior, but really clean. And you know, some of these facsimile places really do a great job with their, you know, with their facsimiles. Now these are bare bones facsimiles, and I gotta show you these because they're, well, this cover isn't that hot, but I picked these up off of eBay. Now, what the guy would literally do is an old journey into fear here. You know, werewolf entering while she's brushing her hair, I guess. But they would just staple. It's a staple job, right? See that? They just staple, you know, loose pages together. That's how they did it. So pretty cheap reproduction. And if you look, I mean, obviously the guy's just literally copying his comic book. You know? But
I have that original issue.
yeah, at least, you know, it's reasonably well done. And this is one of my favorites. I've always wanted to get the actual issue, but these things are hellaciously expensive and rare to even find in any condition. Or written. There were a couple of issues. Yeah, they're like, you know, these monster robot puppeteers controlling these people. That is just such a great freaking. It's so weird.
Looks like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
I was just about to say Washington, D.C. I was thinking the same thing.
And there's that's true. That's Mitt Romney right there. You can see.
Yeah.
You gotta get that Romney look with that. But yeah, this was one of those issues, and I believe this. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure this is all Iger shop. You know, Terror on High. I just love these. To me, like, some of the crude nature of the artist was the attraction. And then at the same time, they had. Did you guys ever look into Rocket Man? Out of this world, 98 cents. Get your own televiewer, so you pay 98 cents and you get that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Space Stories of the Future, but apparently it was some kind of film loop inside of a, you know,
You think it was?
gizmo?
A cardboard box or something.
You think it was a film strip?
Yeah, that you would just like, you know, you had your little handle and you just like, you would repeat, loop around.
It's like the prototype for a Viewmaster.
It's probably that was a comic book though. So what are those panels from the comic book turned into a film strip that you can just project panels on your wall, possibly?
I would think so. I mean, the way that they advertise it, it's like you're going to see a movie, right? But of course, I think that you're absolutely right.
Even in the early 70s, that was cool just to have a still image projected on a wall, or to have 8 minutes of a movie that's 2 hours long.
Can you imagine? I've never seen this for sale, like in anywhere. Like it just you know, talk about the rarities right there. Rocket Man. And yeah, it's you know, I do like this because they do have they give you all the original ads and stuff, you know, in these facsimiles, and these are kind of cheap. I mean, I think I was buying them for like $7 or $8,
Yeah.
you know, which is not bad for, you know, even though it's just a stapled together affair.
Right. Well, that's all they could do. You know.
Exactly. So those are still on eBay. I still see them around, you know.
Okay.
But
Guys, I'm gonna have to tap out. I got an early day tomorrow,
All right. Cool.
so
Nice seeing you.
Okay, Jambo.
good seeing everybody.
Take care.
You guys have a good evening.
Hey, Jambo.
All right, take care.
So, and 4. So,
so Bronte, what about that? You mentioned that on your video, and you were showing it, the Sophisticate.
oh, that's a magazine I put out in the 90s.
Yes. Yeah, that was totally cool. That looked like a classic.
And I stapled it that sides. When I had it as a magazine size, I did that same kind of stapling. That's all I could do.
Yeah.
But when I did it in digest size, I had this long stapler where I could staple it and get that staple right in the right spot. But I went back, you know, I haven't for years. I was, you know, I became a school teacher, and then I still was kind of doing the same kind of stuff, but with the students.
Oh, you're right. Right.
And, you know, I take stuff for like, this is an R. Crumb cover. So I've got a lot of copies of these. I just don't have a lot of copies of the ones I did in the 90s, but it's just filled with student art and all kinds of stuff. Some of their artwork. But, you know, it's still, you know, like collector's edition off the bottom of a Warren magazine. And I, you know, just take, it's clip art I take from everywhere. Some little girl drawing a Sailor Moon, you know, it's one of those weird things. That,
yeah, I've been looking at fanzines lately. Like, you know, the older and the cruder, the better. I love those, like the early comics fanzines. I know you guys know all of those. Kind of like Near Mint and stuff, but Near Mint was a little more polished, I guess. But still, they were, you know, truly a fanzine. I mean, it's not like you know what Marvel did, like with Marvel Age and stuff like that, where obviously or Foom even, they had the money. I mean, it was like, yeah, okay, it wasn't like you were in your basement with your mimeograph. You know,
Film had more charm to me than Marvel Age, maybe just because it was printed during a more interesting time period, in my opinion, in Marvel's history. Because to me, the 70s were more interesting than the 80s and 90s, just because that's when I was at my peak of discovering all that stuff. And,
you're absolutely right. I think some of the early Marvel Age were interesting. Like I'm talking mid 80s or so.
Yeah, some of them are interesting. It's just not my favorite time.
Yeah, it just got progressively worse as it went into the 90s, because I just really lost a lot of interest at that point. I didn't like it. A lot of the Marvel comics just man. Didn't like the artists, didn't like the whatever the hell they were doing. I was much more really in the 80s and 90s independent stuff. I was really all about the indie stuff. Pacific and Eclipse. What was Dark Horse? Was one that was really quite good in that period. Wow.
Well, in the 90s, there was a lot of, like you've been showing, a lot of that those reprints of comics that I could never find or afford to buy, those horror comics. But then there was also stuff like Hate and 8-Ball coming out that were just amazing stuff that was coming out. It wasn't just it was good stuff that someday people will realize how good that stuff really was.
And well, it's good too because both DC and Marvel have come out with their reprints, their volumes. I've got a few hardcovers. I showed you guys the Spectre of the Gold Age because, yeah, I mean, unless you're absolutely rich, you're not going to get those original, more fun comics. It's just it's over with that. You know, they're as rare as they come. And although I gotta say, there was an auction. If you guys, you know, I think it's called Hip Comics. Does that sound familiar? HipComics.com.
No.
They're I mean, it's another place you can buy comics, and they have auctions.
Okay.
And they had an auction a few nights ago, and they had you know that Planet Stories issue with the great Lily Renee cover, where it's the woman and she's like, I know, menacing this couple. It's a classic Lily Renee. I mean, it's probably the most iconic Planet comic cover in the whole run.
Anybody want to buy this?
There
I'm
you
selling it. It's up on eBay.
You put it on eBay?
Yeah, it's restored.
Wow, it looks nice.
Slight restoration, slight to moderate restoration.
Woo!
So
That is a beauty.
Yeah.
What are you wanting to get for it?
Oh, I don't know. I seen a similar one in this, 6.0 or something, 5.0 for 38,000. Trying to sell it for 38,000.
Damn.
So this is 6.5. I just put 41,000 best offer.
Oh, okay. Well, that's slightly out of my range. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Best offer can be
$4.52.
I don't think so. I need the money there, but I didn't want to put this.
How long has it been on there, Cap?
Pardon me?
How long have you had it on there?
Oh, I just put it on there about a week ago. I decided I gotta start, moving some stuff that I gotta sell it.
How many things do you have up on eBay?
Oh, I got all sorts of a few different things up there. I got mostly some graded comics, and then I got some Narataki, Chinaware, and things like that. Sets, coffee cups, things like that.
What is your eBay handle?
Was it Black Ace 111?
Okay.
So this box that I got here, this box that I got over here from that was from that guy who found the comics in his loft.
Yeah, I'm real curious about it, but I don't know if you want to save it for your channel.
No, it was I guess I can show this. I picked this out right away because I saw this Robert Bell bag.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a nice, maybe there's something in here, a nice comic book from the 1960s. This is an adult comic.
There's nothing underground, yeah. But that's
there's nothing bad on the cover or anything like that, but it's kind of.
But it's not a 60s underground, isn't that from the 80s?
Yeah, this is the Bell. The bag is from probably 68 or something, and the comic has got to be from. I don't even know, but maybe even late 8. Yeah, wait a minute, 50 cents.
Yeah, that's
1972.
Okay.
1972.
It's like 73, 74. They went up to 75 cents on the end.
And we got Mad. I got this Mad magazine. These are from. Shit, I can't see anything, man.
Did you see that post, Gratu? That Last Gas Comics is still alive. They've got their website up there in San Francisco.
2007.
Yep.
Yeah, that's past Mad's prime.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a cool cover though. They're all throwing up.
But what's weird is that's not the same time period as all those other books that came out of that same house, though.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I don't know what. There might be some stuff towards the bottom though that I don't know, man. Yeah, this is. Oh, it's got some other more comics in there too.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of a mix of stuff. Did they used to come out with annuals, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
you
was
know,
an
these are.
annual, I think, called the More Trash from Matt. I think might have been an annual.
You know what? I think this might have been from somebody that lived there previously that had a subscription to this, and they just left them up there
Oh,
because these look like they were. Oh, here's a mad special.
that's about 1975, I think.
Are you right?
I could be wrong, but somewhere in that time period, maybe 76.
Yeah, 1977.
Okay, that was close.
Yeah, you know your stuff.
Well, that was my childhood.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know. Well, it looks like some guy must have subscribed to this, and they.
I don't know that the subscription would get you those special issues, though.
No. Or he faithfully purchased these every. Yeah, I think these are all 70s and 90s and 20s and stuff.
Yeah,
Here's a Badger comic.
I never read that.
I thought this was pretty cool. Put out by Capital Comics.
I'd say
Mike Baron.
those two boxes that you have had previously. I think that this is maybe the son of the guy that bought the other stuff.
It could be,
because that stuff was like 68 to 72, and this
Yeah.
stuff is 90s or 80s mostly. So it's a
yeah.
different generation.
But Mike Baron wrote this, created it. Same guy that worked with Steve Rude on the
Oh,
Nexus.
on Nexus, yeah.
Yeah, Gratu, this Badger's about a Vietnam vet who's got a personality disorder, and he hears a lot of voices in his head, and one of them is the ghost of Warren Oates. It's
really?
a recurring character, and if he doesn't like somebody, you're Larry.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got, as his main character is Norbert Sykes. He's the badass. He's also got, I guess, a 6 or a 9-year-old girl trapped, whose personality will come out. A very effete, like art critic type is one of his personality. It's just insane.
So it's a good comic.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan.
All right. I just never gave it a chance.
Yes, I thought that when Badger came out, I thought it was a lot better than I liked it better than Nexus.
All right. Sorry to just discount it. It's like, ugh.
Mike Barron's very
one of those.
Mike Barron's very creative, and he's
kind of like Deadpool.
He's got a screw loose in a good way.
What's this? Snarf? Oh, kitchen sink Snarf.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also, he was nice enough to come on one of our shows that we used to do on Mondays on Eglinton's channel.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, I got to go through this stuff. I don't know. I'm probably go through it on my channel and stuff.
Cool.
I thought there might be some early. Oh, here's a Nexus. Oh, here's a Forever People. Shit.
Huh.
Number 2.
Yeah, that looks like that belongs with that other those other boxes.
Yeah, could be. There's Nexus.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Pretty neat.
Very interesting. They're still kind of funny, the covers. I mean,
Oh, sure, yeah. It's just not the
but the reading is a lot different. It's
Mad is like Archie comics. It's just such a snapshot of the time period that each issue comes out. You can learn a lot about history with both of those publications. The history of different time periods and what's popular with kids, and just someone could write some fancy sociology book about those publications.
I don't know, man. At least I got another Robert Bell bag out of it.
Yeah.
The original.
Who was the first guy to make comic boxes?
Comic boxes? I don't know.
Probably the guy that woke up with 1,000 comics laying all over the floor.
Could have been Ernie Gerber. I
Okay.
back in the early 80s, I remember buying, and I still have some, these early comic boxes. They were blue, they were acid-free, white on the inside, and they were really hard cardboard. I got to show it when I find it. I can't look around for it now, but that was like early 80s, 82, when I saw the first comic boxes. Ernst Gerber.
Comic Defense was the first boxes he got.
That I don't know. And he's the guy that created got the Mylar onto the market.
Okay.
He figured out a way to seal Mylar, and then he created the bags. Ernie Gerber.
Well,
This remember I was talking about the first comic book shop that was run by Pops Hollinger. Pops, I call him. Pops Hollinger is actually who it was. I found out that they did a whole article on him in the comic book price guide, number 12. I had no idea, or I must have forgotten that. There it is, the Pop Hollinger story.
huh.
First dealer collector, and he had the first store, and you're talking about 1939.
Oh, okay.
1939 through the 40s and through the 50s. He had these here, I don't know if you can. He produced these ads
Huh.
from the 1940s. He had a comic book club. He had at one point he was distributing comics, to food stores and other places, mom and pop shops. And he had a comic book club where he urged kids to bring in their comics. He'd repair them and then resell them again.
Huh.
Yeah, see, and then he had advertisements to bring them into hospitals, distribute them into hospitals and stuff. And he ran it all out of this food store, guys, the basement of a friend of his who owned a food store. And he was the first guy to actually start restoring books with, he developed this contraption he called a press, where he would press the comics. And this is in the 1940s, and he had this chemical where he would clean the comics that he developed. I mean, it's just unbelievable, all the stuff what this guy was doing. And he had stacks of comics, from the floor going all the way up to the ceiling. And then there was a flood in 1951, and he had 100 copies of Roy Rogers #1 that just went away. And he had all the multiple copies of the Submariner #1, All Winter Squad, Captain America, and all sorts of shit that he, man, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
He ended up having to dump that at a friend's farm inside of a hole, but he still kept going, you know, into like the 60s and 70s. But that'd be interesting if you guys, you know, can find a cheap copy of this. All
I
right,
think that's the
maybe
first
make
one I
more.
bought.
Is it?
I think so. I think I've got it somewhere upstairs.
Yeah, you got to check that article out. It's absolutely amazing. Pop Hollinger in 1939 is unbelievable. He started out with pulps and paperbacks and then got into the comic books real quickly when they became popular, 1939 to 1940s. And he was urging kids not to throw them out. Those comic books are worth money. He was offering like a penny to $1 for certain comic books.
So what do you think? You could have found like an Action Comics #4 in his nickel box for a while.
Probably an Action Comics, yeah, or Action Comics #1.
That probably would have been a buck. But
yeah, it could have been. But it's just, man, can you imagine going back in time and going to his place and seeing all these multiple copies of all the important books?
Well, $1 in that time period is probably worth a little over $10 in today's money, if not more.
Yeah.
But still, that's pretty cheap for early Action Comics.
Yeah, and Action Comics #1, Detective Comics number 3070s. There was so much stuff that he had there. Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna grab some dinner and get ready for, I gotta get up early tomorrow.
Probably all need to do that down here.
I'm thinking about making copies of this whole article. Maybe I can send it to anybody who wants them.
Yeah, it sounds like that's pretty important historically for.
Yeah,
the guy needs to be remembered.
Yeah, he's hardly remembered by anybody, you know, and he really did have the first comic store. I mean, the more I start reading about him, the more I realize he had the first comic book store. He was the first dealer. He was the first guy that repaired books. He invented this contraption that special press that pressed the books. And
when did his comic store go out of business? In the 50s?
No, he kept going into the early 70s, and then he stopped.
Wow.
I mean, he was doing it all every day when he first started, and then as he got older, by the 60s, 70s, he was only open like at the same place one day a week, you know, on the weekend, Saturday. But and then somebody got, I forget that this was in another article. It's not in this, but I read somewhere where somebody had discovered him and offered to sell sell some of his books, you know, because they were worth a lot more money than he realized, you know. But so he got rid of a lot of stuff through that. And, well, anyway. I don't know, man. I think I better go upstairs and take some gas pills or something.
All right. Well, I guess next Wednesday the show will be on Graphic Man's channel. I think he's back, as far as I know. And then at some point, I think he said there's a couple more times that where maybe I'll need, or maybe one of you can host it. If you just go to StreamYard, make an account. You don't have to pay.
I don't know. I don't know how to handle any of that stuff, you know, to be honest with you. But I can see why, you know, it's kind of hard to do this, but
yeah, well, Graphic Man makes it look easy. I kind of know a little bit about it, but he's a lot more competent with all that.
No, Eric Breen can do it. He's an expert.
Not a chance.
Well, I
I
guess
can't even get on these streams without help.
how do you get on everyone else's? I mean, you're on a million shows.
Well, the rest of them send it through Twitter,
Oh, I see.
but I can't take it from my phone because it's not something. Something's not programmed into it because I can't. You know, when my computer went crazy last month, and I tried to go on through my phone, it
Yeah.
didn't recognize the audio or video, and without those two things, you're pretty much fucked.
Yeah. When is your next appearance on a live stream?
Probably Friday's reading, whatever it is we're reading.
Hey, do you know in advance what it is that they're going to be reading?
Sometimes we do, like we did that Rawhide Kid series from the early 2000s all through June.
Oh,
I'm thinking of
all right.
trying to pop on there sometime.
But you know what? I gotta admit that series was a little better than I thought it was going to be. Because if you take out the flamboyant, I mean, they wrote him as flamboyantly gay, obviously, but the story itself really wasn't that bad. And other than him being, like I said, flamboyantly gay, I mean, he was the hero of the story. He just went about it a little different than he did in the old books. But I still wonder if if John Severn knew what he was doing, or if they just told him to draw the book and then he didn't see the dialogue or whatever, because it's very straightforward.
So he doesn't draw him any differently than he ever
Not
did.
at all.
It's not
No,
listed or something.
No, I mean there's no, actually there isn't, because they say they at no point do they come out and say that he's gay in the series. It's obvious, but but again, like, he does all the right things in the story, like the kid whose dad's the sheriff. Every time the kid tells his dad that he's disappointed him or that he's a coward or whatever, Rawhide's right there to set him straight. And so I mean, he actually does act in a heroic manner. He's just, like I said, I was expecting it to be just offensively bad.
How about like that four-part mini-series, The Rawhide Kid, where he was absolutely flaming?
That's the one.
Oh, that's the one.
It was 5 issues. But
what period was this? What year?
It's like 2002.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but that's
What are
it.
you talking
I said it says, okay. The best way I can describe it is when you, if you haven't seen something or haven't read something and you've heard stories about them for years, they'd be like the fish story. This has been built into something that it actually wasn't. I mean, if you want to be offended by it, you very easily could be, because it definitely, if you're a fan of the old stuff, I said it's probably going to rub you the wrong way. If you can read it with a sense of humor, it wasn't nearly as. Honestly, I think what Marvel and DC are doing with the characters now is more offensive in a lot of cases than what they did to Rawhide Kid 20 years ago.
Yeah, well, Disney is ridiculous. I mean, I just read an article. I couldn't believe it. You guys may have heard that Disney is rebooting The Rocketeer. And so the first article I read, which is like a year old, they were saying, the guy's going to be a black Tuskegee airman. They're going to totally revise the entire backdrop of The Rocketeer. It's like, well, it's not The Rocket. Exactly.
No.
Now, I've just read an article from this year saying they have now turned it into Rocketeer is going to be a black female Rocketeer. So that's how Disney, Disney getting it on with the brain aids there. They're just, they're absolute. It's just like taking a lot of joy in just slapping people in the face. Basically, that's it. They just don't give a damn. You know. I mean, I think they're purposefully doing it to, you know, to anger a large part of their audience. Like the Rocketeer. If you read, you know, the comics, Eric, because as a matter of fact, I just got the first 3 you had recommended, The
Yeah.
Great Race from IDW, and that's really great. That series is fantastic, and as you say, it keeps totally with the original Rocketeer, you know, backdrop and story and so forth, and it's really well done. The artists are great. Uh, and so I was like thinking when I heard about the Disney series, I was like, wow, maybe they're going to take some of the IDW stuff, you know, and make that into the series. No such luck. They're just saying, screw you. We're going to completely revise the character. It's not even going to be the Rocketeer. And what really blows my mind as well is that, you know, the San Diego Comic Con is coming up like in a few weeks, and their program book, guess who's on the cover? It's the Rocketeer, and it's the original Rocketeer, and he's flying, you know, doing his acrobatics, whatever, and it looks pretty much like the exact Dave Stevens Rocketeer.
What I've got to wonder when Disney or any other entertainment company does this, where they take a property that's not really in the public zeitgeist per se, it's got like a cult following,
Yeah,
and then they change everything about it and keep the name. I guess one of 2 things: the people that watch it won't know it was ever any different, but the people who did like that character probably are not going to be real happy. So it's only like I don't get where that makes any sense.
so that's what I'm saying. I think it's malevolence. I think it's really what it comes down to is Maoist revisionism.
Or even if
Because they're a bunch of Marxist Maoists.
That's what it is. It's a Marxist revolution, and they're
Right.
gradually tearing down statues, and they're because
They're revising everything.
Watchmen, anything they touch,
Yep.
they're trying to change it. And then if you're offended that this was changed, then you're one of the bad people.
Oh no, I get that I'm I understand completely. But what I don't understand is, I don't. At some point, you got to make some money so you can keep the communist coffers filled. And I don't think that there's no way this isn't going to bomb badly.
Yeah, well, look at some of the other things they've done that have bombed. It doesn't seem to bother them.
Well,
They just keep going and they just keep screwing stuff up.
I didn't say the first 10 years of the MCU were done straightforward to build up a war chest that would allow them to do, what their eventual goals are. But,
Well, they've just been gradually inundated with a bunch of idiots that that have no regard for the original source material, and their whole ideology is, hey, we don't care what the Avengers were or Spider-Man, whatever. We're just going to do what we think suits the new zeitgeist.
Well, they have only one obligation, and that's to the stockholders.
Yeah, but they're screwing their stockholders.
Well, but here's the thing.
Rocketeer is going to plummet like a freaking rock.
But here's the problem.
Disney is going to,
I used to have arguments with this about my brother, who was a little slow to figure out, because he wasn't looking, because he wasn't paying attention to what was going on. Stuff I was telling him about 5 years ago have now happened. But what also has happened is some of the people in positions of power, whether they're high executives at companies like Disney or high rank or people with a shitload of stock, they have been brought up to despise capitalism. So why you would own stock if you hate capitalism is beyond me. But then, but it also, when the richest people in the world were no longer Rockefellers and guys like that, and became Zuckerbergs
Sure.
and Bezoses, and now
Dorsey's and all this.
and now all the richest people in the world are leftists, and
Yeah.
it's completely changed how money is perceived. And
Except for Elon Musk. He's about the only non-purple haired flying unicorn in the whole group.
He's about to get into a big court battle with Twitter.
And he's pulled his he has got them lined up, and he has got the shooting gallery ready to go.
But it's also the first time he's ever going to vote Republican. So I mean, he I think, and I don't know if it's out of that he had a come to Jesus moment. I think he has figured that it maybe there's more money in it for him to be the contrarian to the Bezoses and Zuckerbergs and etc.
And he's not insane.
I'm not sure
that's
these other guys
thing.
are either. I mean,
Oh, I think that if you look at old Bill Gates, that guy he has become
Bill Gates.
He's unhinged.
Bill Gates is total malevolence, but Elon Musk I'm not sure we can fully trust him, because he is all for man merging with machine and all of that stuff.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's got the whole thing with the implants and all that shit. Yeah, I mean, it's not you don't have to completely follow him, but he's dealt with Twitter in such a great manner that now that they're going to take him to court, or they're threatening to take him to court, he's like, perfect. Then in court, they will have to divulge all of their nefarious deeds.
Well,
and that's exactly what he's going to make them do.
Seeing as how Elon has
bought and paid for by the other side.
But seeing as how Elon has not succeeded in merging man and machine, I still need food. So,
I'm gonna go eat. All right, guys. I'll see you next week.
All right.
Sure.
Have a good one.
Good night, kids.
Good night.
Yeah.
I'm taking off. I'm taking